Greetings of the day. My name is Rishita, and I'm here with the CEO of Also Creative, Devika Nair. So, first of all, Devika, thank you so much for taking time and taking time to answer a few of my questions. Let's just jump right into it. For starters, the first question I have for you is can you give me like a brief background about Also Creative? What sparked the initial idea for Also Creative? Was there a specific problem that you aim to solve with this company?
Right. So, with OSO, we are a social media marketing company, but more than that, the direction we are wanting to go is of more of a creative media company. So, social media marketing is not something revolutionary that none of us are unaware about. It's something that a lot of people are doing, a lot of freelancers who are doing it. But the one problem, I'll speak based on the proximity that I am in. I'm from Bombay, and Bombay has a much wider market for such businesses. Then I've been to Bangalore. Even Bangalore have a lot of businesses, startups that require social media marketing. But when it comes to Hyderabad, I think there are very less players who are doing social media marketing, and the ones that we have here are only affordable by bigger scale companies. But how about the companies that are middle scales? How about a new startup or a new business? Everybody needs social media because undoubtedly social media is the most powerful platform for sales, marketing, to reach out to multiple audience, to convey your message. So there's no debate about it. So with also, what we wanted to do was, of course, to set ourselves available to the medium scale businesses. We wanted us to be affordable to them. To give you an example, how the Tata Group has Zudio.
Mhm.
It's a fast growing fashion brand, but so affordable. Or I'm sure all of us have a number of clothes from Zudio. It's super affordable, right? And we all deserve that fast fashion, cute, trendy stuffs. So it's very important to make things like that available to even people who have limited amount of money to spend over such things. When it comes to social media marketing, everybody thinks, oh, I can do it, it's just posting, but it's just clicking pictures, just reels, but then it's more than that. For a business, it's about your return of investment. It's about
Mhm.
ROI. You need to get your sales out of it. So with also, what we aimed for was to be more affordable to the smaller scale businesses and get them their return of investment, get them more sales, get them more traction, get them more attraction and awareness through social media. So that was the first basic idea and foundation to start also.
That's great. I really I get what you mean. The next question I have for you is since you've created also, what has been the biggest challenges that you've faced, and how have you overcome them?
Um, the biggest challenge is, of course, to set a team, because you are nothing if you don't have a great set of people working with you, for you, all the time. So the team is the most important thing. And I come from a recruitment background. All my experience before starting this business comes from recruitment, so I was very well aware of how recruitment works and how difficult it is and how to source my candidates. So that is a plus for me because I exactly knew how to do it. I was aware of the portals, I was aware of candidate management, interviews, negotiation, and everything. So that's something that really helped me, because I knew what I want in my team and how I want it. So of course getting the team was the most important part for me, and overcoming that was, of course, though I knew how to do it, of course there's a challenge because you're a very new business and it's not easy for anybody to trust you, because it's their career that they are looking out for. And it's not easy for somebody to just, okay, there's a new company, I'm going to work for this new company. It's not easy, and it's not easy for us to establish that trust immediately. So it of
Mm.
course takes a lot of time to build that trust with the candidates during the interview time and even after you onboard them. So the biggest challenge for me was not hiring, I would say. It was to build the initial team bonding part for me, to keep my team together. That was the most important challenge that I faced, because I wanted to let my people know that they should be trusting me and I trust them a lot, and I wanted them to stick. So that was the challenging part that I faced when I started my entire team.
So wait, I'm curious. Is the initial team still with the company?
It is, yeah. They are still here.
Well, that's great. Wait, so what qualities do you think were the most important since it's a startup and it's the initial team of that startup? What did you look for in your?
Um, Keeping the skill, keeping the talent aside, because that's important. Give or take, it's very important.
Mhm.
Other than that, I think the most important thing that people often overlook is to have somebody with leadership potential. Because as a startup, um, the first initial 3 4 members would be the leading members later. And if I want them to stick here, I'm sure they'll be leading one day, and I want them to have the leadership potential, not the leadership qualities initially, but the potential in them, because I am ready to polish them accordingly, and they should be willing to learn as well. So leadership potential is very important for me, because the people I hired in the beginning are now seniors leading a team. So if they didn't have leadership quality, the entire team behind them would just collapse. So for
Hmm.
me, leadership potential was quite important.
It's so obvious, but you'd never think that leadership is something you should look for, even though it's like so obvious that these
It
people
is.
are going to lead teams in the future.
Right. For a startup, it's very important. I'm not sure about giant companies. I'm not sure about them, but for a startup, it is very important.
Yeah, because the initial team is eventually going to end up becoming, people in the key
Correct.
positions.
Correct. Yes.
Wait, so have you ever considered pivoting from this current business model, or are you just gonna like, is this the only business model, or is there something else you have in mind for the future of also?
um I think it's very easy to get tempted and want to pivot your business model, because when I talk about social media, it's a big horizon. There's a lot of stuff involved. So when we started social media, we purely wanted only the one stuff. We wanted to be good at only one thing, right?
Mhm.
Just this one thing. I want to be good at just this one thing. But eventually, when your clients start trusting you, they ask more from you. So they ask you, can you do this for me? Can you get me a website? Now I can get a freelancer and get them a website, but I don't want to,
Mhm. Mhm.
because that's not what I wanted to. So yes, we have gotten opportunities and offers that did tempt us, but we've never wanted to totally drift from there. We have very conveniently declined those offers from the client, and convinced ourselves that no, we are a creative media company, and that's what we want to be known for, and that's what we want to do. So not yet, and I don't think I'll be doing it in another 5 years. Easy.
Well, then coming to clients, you're saying you want like these clients that will ask for your service and nothing else. So, what strategies do you use to acquire those kind of clients that want your services and those only and don't ask for, you know?
So, my business partner is a sales monster. He's a great sales guy. And whatever I know about sales, I've absolutely learned it from him. So, the one thing we do to acquire our sales is, might not believe it, gate crash. Just gate crash, go to the client's place, ask for an appointment, wait there, sit, get in, explain yourself, come back. That's, you have to be brave there. You can't be waiting for an email reply. You can't be sending 100 messages or 100 emails and waiting there for an email to get back to you. You have to gate crash. You have to go meet the person, wait there, face to face, do it. So I think the face to face sales works the best for me. And though I have had clients who come with references, you know but sales do not come just by passing around your business cards. So it doesn't happen that way.
Face to face. I'll keep that in mind. So, see, building a startup requires a lot of dedication. For this competition, we were asked to create a hypothetical startup, and I can only imagine if the amount of efforts that went into creating a hypothetical startup, I can only imagine the amount of efforts that go into starting and running an actual startup. So, how do you like deal with the amount of work that comes with creating a startup? How do you maintain like that balance?
Hmm. So it's you think startup is all about just having an idea, and then that's the path breaking stuff. that one day I get an idea and, oh wow, yeah, this is it. No, it's not just about the idea. If you don't know how to build a foundation and navigate through your business model, then your startup isn't anything, even if your idea is great. So I think all the challenges that you face. So I'm somebody who puts a lot of trust on my team, and I'm very close to my team. So I think once you set your team right, you put a lot of trust to them over them, and they on their, and it's just a two-way thing, and they have a lot of trust on you. So if you have a great team, I think making your business go from 0 to 10 or 0 to 100 is in your team's hand. And talking about challenges, you should always be ready to take failures and criticism, because and it's also about investing in myself. I
Mhm.
have to invest in myself. I have to learn before I talk to a client about it, before I talk to my team about it. So as long as you're ready to embrace the failure, you're okay with failing once or twice, you are okay with taking criticism, because not everybody will put it as a constructive criticism. You will get
Mhm.
straight criticism on your face. So as long as you're okay with it, you're okay losing things here and there, it's fine. I think it is always important to remember why you started it. I think if you have that in your mind, you'll always get back to it. So never forget why you did what you did. So I think that's important. That'll help you, get back from all the setbacks.
So it's a setbacks. What do you think is like the biggest setback you faced in your journey with Also Creative? And like how did you like bounce back from them?
The biggest setback is always the competition in the market, right? I mean, when you are compared to a similar business, oh, they've been doing such a great work, I think I'll just choose them over you. But
Mhm.
then there's a thin line between what, comparing, and I mean, there's always a difference. No businesses are alike, right? If they are giving something, I'm giving something else. So as long as you don't compare yourself, you will be compared, but as long as you don't compare yourself with somebody else, I think it should be fine. And for me, the biggest setback was, um you know in a startup, like how in big companies you do have a proper NDA, and you have a proper uh, notice period and everything served by the candidates. But in a startup, you don't really get to negotiate with your candidates about all of that. It's just give and take 15-20 days of notice period. So when somebody just go out like that, and you have to immediately find a replacement to get your job done, that's very important. It's very important to have a relationship building, not just with the clients or with potential customers, but also with potential talented skilled people. Because if one just drop out like that and go, I need to have another person, because I'm a startup and I would not have 3 to 4 videographers at any given time. I mostly have two. And if both of them are not available, what am I supposed to do? So I think my biggest setback initially was that when I just had one or two people doing each job. I mean, just one graphic designer, one videographer, and they're not available for a day. It was a lot of problem for me. If they were just taking leave for 1 month, or like they were on a sabbatical, it was a major problem for me. So having a backup is important, and I think now I have learned my lesson, and I have a set of bunch of people who will cover for me. So yeah, I think with setbacks, it's just that once you learn to, um, it's important to know that it's not just plan A, right? There's like a lot of alphabets. Plan B, plan C. You can do a lot of stuff.
As long as you have like backup, backup for backup, and a backup for third backup, then
Yes.
it will
So
be
it's all
fine.
about being prepared at any given time. You have to be prepared.
For any adversity. So,
Yes.
like, is this like along the lines of what advice you would give to anyone that is planning to start a startup of their own? What is any advice you'd give them?
I'd say, um, don't wait for a right time. Just do it. Because I think it's quite obnoxious for all of us to assume that there's a right time waiting for you. I think you just have to start and make it right. So don't wait. If you have a solid idea and you trust yourself a lot with
Mhm.
executing the whole stuff, I think now is the right time. Do it, and make sure you are always invested in it. Just because you have a business do not mean you are taking vacations 10 day a month, and you just because you have a team would listen to you. It doesn't mean just because you have a business you'd just be, not working, taking a lot of holidays, dumping everything to your team. You have to equally work. You are an employee too, you have to equally work, you have to maybe work more than that. It doesn't give you any that, there's no advantages here. You have to work maybe more than them. So if you are wanting to start a business, and if the one advice they want to take from me, I'd say work. You have to work. You cannot just sit back and say I am a founder, I'm a CEO, I'm not going to do anything because I have a team of 15 people. No,
Mm.
I'm sorry honey, you need to work. So if you're willing to work hard, and you are willing to keep doing that for a very long time, because it's very rare for businesses, startups like that, to just have a very miracle success. It's slow success. So as long as you're patient and you have the willpower, just do it. Just don't wait for a right time to come, is what I'd say.
That's really good advice, actually. Um, One last question for you. What is something that you're like, what is something that also achieved that you're like really proud of? That you would like brag to like aunties and go, my company did that.
So I think it might be silly and childish, but every time I'm just traveling and I see my client places, oh, they're my client, they're my client. I
Oh,
think I have a lot of big clients here in Hyderabad, big names. So every time I'm traveling, I'm in the airport or I see this business, I'm like, you know what, they're my clients. I handle the pays,
that.
they're my clients. So I think that's quite sassy for me. I keep
I
doing
mean,
that. So
you deserve it, obviously. If you're working for them, obviously you deserve to go, you know what? They came to me for my service.
no, but keeping that aside, I think seriously, on the serious note, I think the one thing that I'm really proud of is my team, and second is, in a very short span of time, we were able to grow our portfolio with a few of the bigger names in this city. We work for very big businesses, and my portfolio looks really great now. So I think in a span of 1 year, that's a big achievement for me. Though my initial idea was to work with middle, uh, you know, um, you know. New businesses, or
Mm.
I my idea was to start social media for new businesses, but eventually I've gotten an opportunity to work with bigger people. So I think it's a great thing for my portfolio. So that's something that I'm really proud of.
Well, I'm gonna definitely sit in the sidelines and watch the growth of Oso. I'm definitely gonna follow Oso from now on.
Wow,
And
sure.
I would so we come to the end of this interview. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for giving such nice answers, such insightful answers. I'm really thankful. Great.
Thank you, Rishita. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being such a sweetheart. I really enjoyed the 20 minutes of conversation here.